Hey, Matt.
Hey, Wes, how's it going?
Doing all right. So Perma sent us some products to take a look at here. You probably know Perma, single-point lubricators, oil systems,
Sure.
a bunch of different things.
Yep.
Absolutely. So what they sent us were their STAR VARIO single-point lubricators.
Okay.
And I really like these products because they are the electromechanical single-point lubricators.
Positive displacement.
Positive displacement.
Sure.
3 main sizes, 250, 120, down to 60. Now, with electromechanical, like you said, positive displacement, they do run on batteries. So we just simply take the motor off. It comes with a battery package. So the battery pack goes in, and then you'll actually see it start up. You'll see the diagnostic lights on the top of it, and it's working and doing well. And you know, we can use them in a lot of different applications. I know that you're a big fan of these,
Sure.
and you recommend them with your customers.
Yep.
Where do you recommend they use?
Yeah, use them in a lot of different applications, actually, right? So think about some more reducing the concern for manpower issues out in the field, being able to get to everything and do it all at one time.
Yeah.
Think about any kind of issues, whether it's dirty or dangerous or difficult, maybe somewhere you have to shut the line down.
That's right.
Great fits for these guys.
That's it. Now, the big thing is when we think about electromechanical, very consistent in the amount of grease that they put out. Every time that they have to cycle, same volume going out there.
Right.
You can compare these to some of the other greasers where the consistency of the grease has a lot to do with how much is going out.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime that the grease softens, you may push more. If the grease hardens, it may not push as much.
Right.
Less of a concern.
Minimizing the variable as well, specifically within temperature as well, right?
Temperature's a big one. So that battery pack that I put in here, that's actually a lithium battery,
Mm-hmm.
and that keeps this unit working all the way down to minus 40.
Wow, so that's going to cover us in most applications we're going to be dealing with,
The
right?
vast majority of them. So wide operating temperature range, really good products and really well built products. I mean, you can set them to different dispensing options, all the different things, and the diagnostic code, simple, tell you if it's still working, if there's a fault, even self-diagnostics.
Yep.
Now, in most applications, you're going to put them directly on the application, something like this.
Fits most
right?
of the time.
And that's what you see very commonly, but we know in some cases we can't get that close to the
Right.
asset. And that's where Perma says they are the expert in lubrication solutions, and they have really come up with a good solution for these to be remotely mounted. So we have different mounting brackets.
Wow. Okay. So first look at this. This guy's typically pretty robust.
That's a
right?
pretty rigid bracket.
Yeah.
That is the tandem bracket. They also have single brackets. But then you start thinking about, all right, so the bracket holds the grease there. How are we attaching this to the structure around the asset?
Sure.
And this is where they take it a step further. All right, we have more options. So let's say that you just have round tubing around it, maybe a handrail or something like that.
U-bolt, great
U-bolt
fit.
holds it in place. Let's say that it's an aerial one, or the only thing that we have close is an I-beam or some channel.
Mm-hmm.
So now we've got some options to where we can clamp it in there, be very rigid. And knowing your background in manufacturing, you probably saw a lot of expanded metal or a lot of guards around equipment. So they have figured out a great way to have little hanger clamps.
Yeah, so kind of utilizing this guy with this main setup here, dialing that in. So a lot of great fits when we talk about operating and manufacturing lines. They're
That's
gated
right.
off of something very similar to something like this, right?
Absolutely.
So hang that guy on there and hook her up, ready to roll.
Because you know as well as I do, we can't take the guard off necessarily or
Right.
open up a door or something because in
Light
manufacturing,
curtain,
there you go.
exactly.
Light curtain, it shuts down operation, so we don't want to do that.
Sure.
Now, the units are pretty robust themselves. However, we want to make sure that they're protected from the environment. So there are different housings, different covers. In some cases, we don't want to lose that diagnostic light, so they do come in clear options to where they basically cover it all up.
Put that guy on there. Works really well for any excess spray, debris, product buildup.
Wash
stuff like that.
downs, heavy dirt, a lot of those
Great
things.
option there. And I also like this a lot too. It's very simple, but does its job, right? So it lets us know specifically what size. We should make sure we have the right size in that specific application. What setting we're dialing that guy into. Lubricant type, right? Cross-contamination is a big issue with me with grease. So another mechanism to help minimize that from occurring. And then the lubricant point as well, right?
Absolutely. So not only do they have a place on the housing for you to do that, they also have an app that helps you manage some of this stuff to where it helps remind you of when things are being changed out, monitor some of those things. So a lot of options out there, not only in the field, but also in your office.
That's really nice, right? Taking it from the office, taking the app in the field, taking it to the hardware solutions, to mounting these single-point lubricators up. So kind of a holistic program set up here with this.
And what I like about the positive displacement units, and especially with these remote mounting capability, is we don't have to just put the unit on the bearing or whatever it's getting attached to. We can now pipe that out to where we can do all of our maintenance outside the garden. Safety is a big thing with perma. So they design a lot of their products, with safety in mind to keep you safe, keep me safe, whoever's doing the work.
Sure.
So in this case, we've got our lubricator over here, and we may want to pipe or use a hose to get the grease where it needs to go. So you can use, things like stainless steel. They send out hydraulic hoses, a lot of things that aren't going to impact the grease. So now the lubricator pushing grease through the line, we're going to be able to grease that thing without having to worry about opening it up.
Great fit to be able to extend that out. And as far as extending it out, what kind of length are we dealing with there?
Sure, the STAR VARIO, they are good up to 5 meters or a little over 15 feet. I mean, that's going to help you, and that covers the most of the applications that we
It's a
need.
great fit. Also, kind of tying this guy in here, what are we dealing here with this little check valve?
Sure, so the little valve in here, because you know as well as I do that this line can become clogged with grease. The grease may degrade, especially hot conditions or something. So in this case, Perma has thought about it where we can valve off the lubricator, and it's got a grease fitting to where we can disconnect that line. We can purge this line out.
Nice.
Fresh
Contaminants
grease.
getting in, the issues we're dealing with, maybe troubleshoot or just purge the line in general.
Yep.
Charge us with new grease. So great fit for that little ball valve.
Absolutely. So really thought about all the different options here.
Great. Fantastic fit. Looks like they kind of thought about everything.
They did. So for more information on these products, please just follow the link below. And